Hello everybody, welcome to the first episode of the weekly gig. Name pending. We'll see how long it sticks until we find something better. I'm joined with my hosts. We have Sighted and BreakNeckSam, aka Hunter and Sam.
You know, I'm just trying my best here.
The good boys. So since this is our first episode, we don't know what we're doing. And it's probably going to be very awkward. And we're going to talk about, I don't know. We should have been more prepared, but we weren't.
Because you're doing D&D stuff.
So let's just start off real quick. Let's tell everybody a little bit about ourselves. So Hunter, I want you to tell us about Sam.
You want me to tell you about Sam? Well, Sam is a hunk of a man. Very attractive. You can
Absolute
really tell from his
beefcake.
voice. Burly man. Very dark skin, too.
How's my ass?
You know, it could be better. I'd probably say like 7 out of 10. Very impressionable, though. But honestly, that's like about it when it comes to
I forgive you.
it.
So,
The joke, now I'm going to have to find the Discord audio sounds and put that in because
Oh, I can
it's-
easily send it to you.
why now you're gonna talk about what you're gonna awkwardly do? Like,
Wait, what do you mean you're going to send it to us?
I have it. I have that sound on my
Oh,
computer.
I don't.
I do too, actually.
Wow. So you don't have to find.
I'll have to insert that in for that joke. Okay, Sam, can you tell everybody a little bit about me?
How about you?
Yeah.
Well,
My name's Eddie, by the way.
yeah.
What?
I was gonna tell him that your name. So Eddie here, I hate him, but you know,
Me too.
He's an affiliate on Twitch, so I gotta be his friend.
Yeah, I have 57 followers.
So I have to I gotta get something out of him someday. So I'm
And
just
3
on the
subs.
podcast. Do I have 3 subs?
No, I have 3 subs.
Oh, what? I thought you were making fun of me.
Okay, so I'm going to tell you a little bit about Hunter.
Bro, why did my mic turn on? I don't know why the fuck that happened. Why?
Continue.
What was I saying? Hunter was a good man.
It wasn't until
It
he
was-
died.
Can I talk
Yeah.
for both of you? That'd be
If you want, I guess.
Okay. They're longboard bros. They longboard all
No,
day.
we're not. No, I longboard.
I ride a cruiser board.
They're
Sighted
different.
likes his scooter.
I do like scooters. A lot.
Scooters. He does them kick flips. He does them
I don't know about that.
twisties and turnies.
Kickflips on the scooters.
Are you still short?
No, I grew about like 12 inches.
All right, but in all seriousness, so my name is Eddie. I
What do you do?
like making things about things, videos about stuff, streaming. It's fun.
I like all that.
Want to
too.
elaborate or?
No, so I haven't made a video in like 2 years, like a good video.
So this Jojo video that already came out.
Correct.
Tell us about it. What's that like? You like making things about things? Here it is. Here's the thing. Tell us about the thing.
So I had all this free time, and I decided that I didn't need to use my brain anymore. So I degraded it by watching Jojo. Top shows of 2020, even though that's not when it came out. But it's one of the top pieces of media that I've consumed this year.
Why is that?
It's awful, but not at the same time.
You know, I agree.
Everybody that knows JoJo knows that it does nothing but rot your brain, but it is so good. So good.
It's like the right amount of seriousness and goofiness.
It has its moments where it's not good, but so does everything. I would say I hate giving things number ratings, but out of 10, I mean, just the hype, the memes, everything that comes out of it. I mean, if it was just its content by itself, I'd give it like 7.5 or an 8. But like the community around it, that brings it up to a 9, baby. There's so much that comes from it. It's so good.
I mean,
Rick and
no,
Morty.
I would not compare JoJo's fucking Community to Rick and Morty's at all.
I mean, they're pretty close.
Except
You got a grandpa, you got a grandson, and they go on
I mean-
adventures.
Yes, but that's not the Community.
Yeah,
That's the
Community.
show itself.
So everything on my social media right now is Jojo. Everything on my For You pages and like my Explore pages, it's just Jojo.
See,
I can't
because
escape it.
you send me so much
I
JoJo
fucking
shit
love it.
that it also plagues my like Discover and For You pages.
It's so good. Yeah, that is the one bad thing about that is as I was watching and like clicking on things, it would start showing me spoiler memes for the next part that was coming up that I had to keep like avoiding, which was weird because it like somehow knew, I guess just based on the ones that I clicked on, how when I was progressing through the show. So anyways, I made a video about it. Hopefully it came out. Hopefully it's doing good. I have no idea how long it's going to be because all I did was record things so far. I just recorded like the main audio. I still have like little live action bits that I want to sprinkle in there, but I haven't gotten to that at this point. But hopefully it turned out okay. I was pretty awkward and a lot of the filming process was a nightmare because I had everything all set up. You can notice in the video too, like the time of day changes from the beginning to the end, like significantly. And that's because when I started, right when I got everything ready, somebody next door decided that they were just going to take out their circular saw and start cutting things and make it so then recording audio was actually impossible. And then somebody started vacuuming. And then the house got real quiet and I had to do this awkwardly, being the only noise in the house that everybody can hear. So that was cool. And then I had camera issues because I was using a DSLR to record video, which you should not do because if you do it for too long, it'll overheat and keep shutting off and you won't get any of your footage.
I mean, you could have used my camera.
Could have, but I like my camera and I think it's going to end up being good, being decent on the parts where it does show my face. That was an issue that I had a feeling was going to happen and I just kind of hoped that it would turn out good. So if you notice towards the end of the video, there's less cuts to my face. That's why, because I probably lost the footage, but hopefully it turned out okay. Part 4 is by far the best part in JoJo.
Okay.
See, that's the part I'm on right now.
And that's the part that Hunter's on. So I'm
almost there.
I got Hunter to start watching the show. I kept hounding him. And then Sam also seems to get interested now. And he's watched 3 episodes.
Watched a dog die. It's pretty cool. He's
So,
actually my favorite character.
Danny.
Dio.
You like Dio?
No.
He's
See,
a pretty
like,
They
bad
made
person.
sure I wouldn't like him.
But like, you don't like him so much that you have to like him because he's such a good villain.
I like how I like how much they made me hate him so quick. Like they did good with it.
They did a really good job. Especially because, I mean, they didn't have... Basically, in the first 3 episodes of the show, they fit as much content as could be an entire series. Pretty much. Like, by the end of the 3rd episode,
I was good.
Sam, like, he
good.
had to take a break. Like, he had to take a breath.
I keep watching it. Like I thought, there's so much that happened that quick. Like the guy went through 12 episodes of a normal anime in 3. Okay.
See, I think season 1 of JoJo, it's too underappreciated. I think it's so good. I love it.
Yeah, rewatching it with Sam actually made me switch its place on the list of like my favorite parts. And by the way, that list is not like, it's not saying that the one that's on the bottom is bad. They're all good. It's just some are less amazing than others. And I decided that part 3 is the least amazing of them all.
Really?
Kind of underwhelming, especially like with all the hype behind it. Like I don't know. There was just part 1 had an issue where it slowed way down. but that was only for like 2 episodes. Part 3 had an issue where it slowed way down, but that was for like 20 or more.
20 episodes, dude? I couldn't imagine.
Part 3 is also the longest animated one. It's pretty cool because like they set it up so then there's all the tarot card stands, and then once they defeat them all, they're like, well, actually, there's more. There's the Egyptian god stands, and it's like, cool. I guess we'll have some more 2-episode fights that are boring. We'll sit through that again, I guess.
Every time I watched part 3, as I was watching it, I thought that at least in every episode there was at least something intriguing that caught my attention. Whether it was like little, if the episode wasn't that good, there was always something about the episode that made it good.
Yeah. No, that's the thing that's genius about Jojo is like even when it's bad, it's good. Like there's something going on, or like little seeds that are planted. Like Iggy fucking hates everybody. And while they're off like fighting some guy or whatever, Iggy's just off doing his own thing, and he ends up finding Dio's hideout like while they're doing that. They're out like looking for it, and then Iggy's just like, oh, that's the thing in the picture.
Spoiler warning for part 3.
That's cool enough.
Spoiler warning. Iggy's pretty cool. We're not gonna go over like actual spoilers, but
Motherfucker, you already spoiled the whole
So
show.
at the very end of part 3, Sam, okay, listen to this.
Dio's still alive. Yeah.
He doesn't. Well,
Dio Fox. Hard.
That's true. Dio Fox, bro.
I hope that means what I think it means.
So Sam,
Oh, he fucked.
you've only watched 3 episodes of part 1.
Yeah.
I kind of spoiled it, how there's multiple Jojos. It's not just Jonathan. I kind of wish I didn't do that, but...
I don't understand what it means.
Which is good. So what do you think happens? Like, what are your predictions? What do you think happens at the end of part 1?
Based on only 3 episodes, how do you think the rest of the series goes?
Yeah.
Especially when I don't know 4 other main characters. Right? Because there's 5 parts, different.
Sure.
Joestar.
I guess you can say that.
I don't know. Yeah, okay. Well, from my understanding, there's 4 other main characters, unless that's not it. Okay, so I'm not looking forward to the loopy haired dude. Don't know who he is. I don't want anything to do with him.
He has a really nice theme song.
Like, I'm hoping it's like the 3rd season so I can actually say it's bad. I'll be the one to take the bullet there.
Yeah.
This fucking sucks. Trash. First 3 episodes are good. The rest of the series are good.
The rest of it's bad because of loopy hair, man.
Pretty much.
You just sure know.
DiGiorno? I mean, I think their pizza's not that good, but...
That's pretty good.
No
so
prediction.
what do you think the conclusion of part 1 is going to be?
Dio fucking dying. Good people always win. Ooh.
And then
Jonathan wins.
And then what do you think? How do you think part 2 would tie into it at all?
Do they tie into it?
Yes.
I don't know.
I'm just curious.
From those 3 episodes, we took like 3 different like time jumps. So
There were some time skips. He was a baby, and then he was like 12, and now he's like 17 or 18.
Big and fucking burly.
He's huge.
Everyone just gets massive. I fucking love it.
Yeah, they're all big, strong boys. Which at first it kind of turned me off of the show a little bit, but then like, who cares? Let's get some big buff bros, man.
See, that's what I like. That's what like drawn me like towards it, because like all the other anime that I watch, it's always like they're relatively thin and fast, and just these guys are just fucking massive. They're like German bodybuilders and shit. It's fucking awesome.
Like every aspect about this show is unique. I think that's what I love so much about it, and that's why I made I don't know how long of a video. I'm gonna guess it's gonna be like 40 minutes, but that's why I made such a long video about it. It's because every aspect of this show is unique. Sam, have you seen pictures of people in JoJo fighting with like little ghosts behind them?
No.
Good.
It only gets better from here, Sam.
It only goes up. Like, you think part one's good? If you watch that's my favorite thing. Finishing a part and then I immediately go on and watch one episode from the next one to like see how it's different, see how the next setup is, and it just gets me so excited to keep watching. It's so good. It's so good.
You pay for this shit.
Like finishing part one, I could only watch one episode of part two because I had to go to bed for work, and like I could have watched I could have watched 5 more. That's how good it was. Like, if you think part one's good, part two's gonna be so much better.
Who's the main character?
Well, his name is Jojo.
Cool. So does he have purple hair?
No.
Little swirls through his bangs there? Okay.
No.
Good.
As long as it isn't Giorno, Sam will be happy.
Yeah, fuck Giorno.
Yeah, see, I'm not even there yet.
Oh, good. So it's later. So it's probably like the 4th or 5th. Good.
I'm on part 4.
Hunter is currently on part 4. What do you think? It's my favorite part.
Yeah, I'm on like episode 7 of it. I think it's been a couple days since I've watched it, but it's good. Part 4 is when everyone stops being all buff, which kind of throws me off because I'm so used to everyone just being fucking massive.
Right. Their stands are still buff.
Yeah, like the art changes like a little bit, but it's still good. And for some reason the sky's like piss fucking yellow.
Yeah, it's Simpsons colors. The town of Morio, dude.
It's a little different, but it's still really good.
I think that's one thing, is that judging part 4, like, I can understand thinking that it's not as good yet, but like this is like the main argument in my video too, is that everything's setting it up. Like, everything's building the town, everything's building the world up, and like most things that happen get called back to, or like most characters that you see, even if like they're not villains in the traditional sense, like they're still there, and like they're more interesting of characters. Like did they go to the restaurant? Did you see that?
I honestly don't really remember. I don't think so.
You would have known if they went to the restaurant. But a lot of like the enemies they face, it's like enemies in quotation marks, pretty much.
Yeah.
Like, everybody has their own motives. They have their own thing that they're doing. They're not just like servants following some master guy that is telling them to kill the like heroes.
So there isn't like a main villain in part 4?
There is, but
there?
I wouldn't really. They don't really have like minions.
Okay.
Like Dio.
I was gonna say
Dio sends like his henchmen, vampires and stuff. But like,
I was gonna say, like, from what I've watched, that I haven't seen like a character that could be like the big bad. Whereas with all the other parts, you've had like Dio and Pillarman and Dio again.
Shh. And
Oh.
and shush. You do see him. You do kind of see him in the first like 3 seconds of the part.
But what I'm getting at is like, so far there's not like a character that I can associate with like being the big bad and me being like worried about this character like possibly killing the main characters. It's just a bunch of just other characters running around like, I'm mad.
Yeah, pretty much. It's kind of related. But
to do something naughty.
Yeah, it's like, well, and the other thing is like, a lot of these people don't even know that they had stand abilities or like what it was, and it's kind of cool seeing like the main heroes go up to them and be like, hey, this is what's going on, and they're like, oh, cool, so that's why my food tastes so good. Also, there's a stand called Red Hot Chili Peppers, and for some reason they didn't name the restaurant owner's stand that. They named a different stand that, and that's really a missed opportunity. They should have, like, it's literally in the shape of peppers. They should have named Tonio's stand Red Hot Chili Peppers. Araki, what are you doing?
See, I'm not even there. Yeah, I have no idea what the fuck you're talking about.
just let me rant.
Go ahead. I mean, you have what, a 40-minute video where you can fucking rant?
Yeah, but I didn't talk about Red Hot Chili Peppers. So anyways, Sam doesn't know what's going on. What's a stand?
Yeah, I don't know. Couldn't tell you.
Where are the sits?
So yeah, are there any sits in this series?
The only word I'm taking out of your conversation is Dio's name that I keep hearing.
Don't know deal that.
So capitalization in Dio's name is important, except not really, but it is, but it's not. So there's the Jojo part out of the way. We don't have to talk about it anymore.
Yes, like
I know that
first
that's,
like
I know
20
that,
minutes.
I know that the Jojo was to be expected, but it's gone now. No more. So I wanted to talk to Sam real quick. Sam, do you remember when we wanted to play D&D and we got 2 books, tried to figure it out, and then gave up?
Yeah.
That was pretty cool. I even started making like a little campaign thing, even though I had no idea how any of it worked. I was just thinking of like a little story that would happen. And
Me
boy,
too. We
boy,
both did that.
there was a lot more structure involved into it than I thought, and I'm glad that I'm playing it now. Guess who's our DM, Sam?
DM?
Yeah, who's our dungeon master?
I don't know. What? Who?
It's Hunter.
It was me, Dio.
Okay.
He is the new DM. Well, so us and the boys, not you included, of course. We decided that we were going to start playing Dungeons and Dragons.
Yeah.
And I knew that this would be the case, and it most certainly is that it's really hard to get into it and like know how to play by yourself. But when you have somebody that knows what's going on, oh my God, it makes it so much easier. So like everybody that's playing right now has never played before, and it's going great, except for Hunter.
Except for Hunter.
And he's never been. Well, no, I mean Hunter's played before, but he's never been.
Yeah,
Oh,
I
He's
played
never
a
been a
couple
DM.
campaigns before playing with everybody else, but this last time was the first time that I DM.
So we actually had
Okay.
another DM, but scheduling issues, he had to quit. So Hunter took up the reins. He had to get rid of his character, which is really unfortunate, but shit's so fun. Like, imagine a video game, except you can do literally anything you want. Well, as long as luck's on your side, at least.
like, and that
Yeah.
involves like dice and shit, right?
Yeah, that's where you gotta roll.
Yeah. Like, you can have endless ideas instead of,
Yeah,
the
so like
dice
if there's
being there.
like a dialogue tree and you can like pick an option, instead of being able to pick an option, you can say literally anything you want and like exactly what you want. So you're not going to pick a dialogue option and then your character is going to say something completely different, and then like the other character is going to react in a different way than you intended. Like, it's what you want. You can do what you want. You can go where you want, really. There's structure.
Yeah.
So like attacks and stuff obviously have like set amounts of damage that they can do, or they can miss, or like you only have a certain amount of spells that you can do, but you can be really creative in what you do. So like if there's like, I don't know, you're in a cave and there's rocks that just happen to be on the ground, you can pick up those rocks and just do anything you want. Or like you can, so as an example, I went to one of our players and my character's sleight of hand is pretty high. So I rolled against my own teammate with sleight of hand in order to rip his jacket off of him, in order to use it in an attempt to blind an enemy that we were doing. I was going to attempt to like wrap it around an enemy. It didn't work. I mean, I got the coat because my sleight of hand was so high, but I failed wrapping it around the enemy's head in order to like blind them. But if it worked, it would have been interesting.
So based on your levels, do you get like a dice that is like slightly, like if you're like really high in a certain thing and you have to roll like the dice first, like just to like guarantee you'll get it or whatever? Is the dice like,
So it
does
doesn't
it like high dice? I don't
you
know.
You don't get a
Better
higher
your odds.
die for that kind of thing. You always roll a 20-sided die, but what you can do is you can have points towards specific things that are always added to your roll. So like my charisma is really high. I think it's just a charisma skill or persuasion or something. I don't remember. But like that's +7, which is insane for somebody that's level 4. So I'll roll a d20 and then I'll add 7 to that. And like the higher the number, obviously, like the higher chance of success it has. And a lot of times it's up to the DM, unless it's like attack related or like combat related. A lot of the times it's up to the DM how much like they're willing to give and take for that, like for your roll. Usually if it's over 10, it's decent. And if it's over 15, like you're going to get what you want.
Yeah.
I kind of know what you're talking about.
Yeah, so
Not really.
like when I was like writing stuff down for the campaign, like I have like
Let me just say, Hunter's an
really
amazing DM. He had things prepared for like every situation and like every chance that would happen. Like a good good reaction, bad reaction.
like here's the thing. I have like going through the campaign, I have like a ton of like perception checks and everything for even like little things. So like if you roll like a 13 or higher, you win, and I tell you the good things like that happens, like, oh, you're looking at this fountain and it looks like a fountain, but there's something inside it because you rolled high. But if you rolled low, like a 12 or under, it just looks like a normal fountain and doesn't
Nothing
like
nothing
anything.
sticks out of the ordinary.
Yeah. And the thing is, like, even with like all this detail that I put into it, there was still stuff that people like rolled for that I wasn't expecting.
Yeah.
So I had to like make it up on the fly, which is something that I really liked doing.
Yeah, I was going to say that's the part that I love, is I love trying to like I keep the DM on his toes, dude.
Yeah, for an example, like in the campaign, all the players were in a cave and by a waterfall. And one of our players, Steve, he thought it'd be a good idea to pick up a rock and throw it through the waterfall to see if there's anything behind it. And I didn't write anything for that. So he tried it, and of course there was nothing behind it because he rolled low. But if he would have rolled high, he would have found probably like a little trinket or something that's worth a little bit.
Yeah, so like there's a bit of improv on every side that goes into it, which I think that's why I like it so much, is because we can play on each other really well. And like we have a decent sized group and we're all friends with each other. So like a lot of the role playing, it's awkward the first like half an hour or hour or so, but like everybody gets into it and plays off of each other, and it's really nice.
It's definitely a lot better when you know like everybody that you're playing with. If you don't know like two or more people, it just gets super awkward.
Cool.
Yeah, boy.
D&D.
I like D&D.
Well, yeah, I've never played. Dude, here, I'm going to just give the quick story of my experience with D&D.
It was bad.
So, it goes back like
Well, it wasn't
fucking
bad.
8 years now, probably. But I'm going to say like
at the most, maybe not quite that much, but like, yeah, we were in high
close
school.
to 8 years. We were like 10th grade, I believe. But
somewhere around there. We were in high school.
yeah, I bought a lot of shit. Well, I didn't buy it. Did I have a job? No, I didn't have a job.
We bought those 2 books.
I bought the 2 books, but like probably with my mom's money.
We bought the 2 books. I think it was with our parents' money, yeah. Or maybe
We
I got it
both,
from
like-
mowing the grass, but
I don't know.
The neighbor's
But I know
grass.
we ended up with 2 fucking guidebooks.
yeah, we had
So
a
many-
player's manual and a monster manual, I think.
And we had the monster manual, like, got me excited too. Like, there was good drawings, like, well done, like, organized, just monster after monster. Looked really different. I don't know. It just looked cool to younger me.
Yeah.
I was really excited. We were like, how does this fucking work? We're going to do it.
We can
make
make
a
our own
plan.
stories, we can make our own characters. Like, it was cool.
And we started doing that. We started making stories. I think I finished, well, quote, finished. But
it was probably
like,
only going to be
trash.
like 10 seconds long.
And it was trash. Absolute trash. We made up on the fly.
I wonder if... No. There's
I
no way
remember
it's
how
like
mine
anywhere that we can
started.
find it. I
In a
remember how mine
cell.
started.
In a cell. Like in a, like, broken down prison thing. Like,
You were just copying Dark Souls.
probably, yeah. That's
Don't
probably
worry.
exactly
Don't
what
worry.
I was doing.
Mine was copying Tomb Raider.
Tomb Raider.
Mine you started tied up, upside
Really?
down in a thing.
But the thing is, that's how a lot
did
of
she
campaigns
fall,
like start.
like, onto a crowbar? And go
Well,
through
I mean, not that exactly, but yeah, you'd have to swing with a torch and like let it burn your thing for you to escape.
Oh my god. But yeah, so we got stories, and we met up at my house. Me, Eddie, and Eddie's dumb fucking friend that I hate. So
we don't
stupid.
hate him.
Yeah, he's annoying. I hate him.
He's goofy.
Like, I hate him, but I hate him. You know what I mean? Like, I don't... I can talk to him sometimes, but when he talks for too long, it gets bad, and you don't want him to talk anymore. Because you get mad. You get angry.
Yeah.
It's like, no, you're just either trying to, like, get a laugh, and you don't hear yourself, or, like, you're actually stupid, and I hope that's not... But I think we've realized that he actually is dumb.
I think he was one of the... I think he's one of those people that, like, try too hard to act goofy, and it's, like, kind of cringy.
He would be like Grandpa.
He would be like, yeah, he would be like one of the band kids almost, except not.
Uncle Grandpa is so funny. Okay, go ahead.
Except not with memes. Except just being like trying to act like the goofy person. Which
I'm going to take your game home with me. Get good at it.
But they did it too much.
At it.
Oh yeah, Bloody Roar. So Sam and I found his old Bloody Roar game on the GameCube. I love Bloody Roar. They need to bring that shit back.
So good.
Hudson Soft, please come back. So Bloody Roar Primal Fury. I think it was the last one that they made, and we were playing it, and then he came over, so we played it with him, and he asked to borrow it. And
because
kid,
I fucking hold on, you're leaving out the part where I fucking wrecked him in the game. He didn't like that. He was like, "Can I borrow it?" And then
we knew how to play.
Played it for a month straight, nothing else. Got so good at it, and then won and laughed at me.
Yeah,
like I couldn't practice. Thanks.
Yeah, it's just a fucking goofy laugh too.
That shows kind of who he is.
That's just what you get for being bad at the game.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, Sam, you should have been better.
Yeah, no, there's no excuse. Anyway, so D&D, he ruined it.
Yeah, back to D&D.
He couldn't have discouraged me and Eddie more.
Oh yeah,
I've never seen so much discouragement in like.
When it came to creating a character, like, he just dropped the mood so much. He didn't want to go into any of like the number stuff or like anything.
He didn't want to do anything. He just thought like a TV was gonna come out of the fucking box and we were gonna play a game, but like on like a video game. No, there was reading involved and we had stories made, and he just fucking was like, "This is stupid. I don't know. I don't want to play. This is so dumb." Oh, and then we never played it again. We just that was it.
I feel like with what I know now, I could probably, I mean, having the time's another story, but I could probably come up with like a coherent, like I could be a DM. Like I could probably come up with a coherent campaign to play with. The monster manual is super helpful because it has all of their stats for everything. So you just refer to that whenever you pick monsters, which is pretty cool. So yeah, we had our campaign had 5 players and then the DM, and we played for 7 hours.
It was like 6.5, 7 hours.
We took a couple breaks, but like, man, it did not feel like that. We didn't. The one thing that I don't know if this is just our campaign, but like, I feel like we don't make as much progress as we should be. Like, we're slow, but
you are a little fucking slow, but that's okay. You should be able to take your time. But the first encounter that you guys had with like a bunch of literally like level 1 wolves when you guys are level 4 took about an hour and a half.
Like, I mean, there were 6 wolves, but like, man, we took forever. Then again, my attacks are basically like as if I was a level 1 character, really. Like, well, I play a bard, so like they aren't the biggest combat person. They do a lot of like buffs and debuffs and stuff. So like my attack is only 1d8. So like at the max I can only do 8 damage. And those wolves have how much health?
They have like 20 health.
20?
Yeah.
Oh. Man, we fucking suck. Well, that's the other thing is like you can miss and just be unlucky. Yeah, we're pretty slow. I feel like we're pretty slow about that.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure like closer to the end of the session, the big battle of all these spiders that you guys had took less time than the fucking wolves.
I feel like those took forever too.
For me, it just felt like it went so fast
Really,
compared to
with
the wolves.
spiders?
Yeah.
That's cool. That's good though. We also haven't played in like 3 months, so those wolves were like a nice practice thing.
Yeah, the wolves are pretty much lower level because of Corey, since it was his very first one. Whereas for you guys, you had like 2 sessions.
We played
beforehand.
2 sessions.
It was meant to be easy, but still took 7 years.
I really wish, well, this was a thing that happened with our old DM, but I really wish the way that we, like, met up with each other, like everybody, was different, because he just had we all woke up together in a wagon, and, like, instead of all being separate.
Skyrim?
Yeah, actually, I mean, pretty much. And he had some elaborate plan that I don't really know what was going on with, but, we were all just there, and he was like, okay, you wake up in a wagon that stopped. All right, go. And we had to like role play from that. And it's like, hey guys, what's going on? Like there wasn't the character introductions. I feel like could have been a little bit better played off. I feel like it would have been better when it was like if it was like one-on-one. I mean, I know that we haven't had like an opportunity to do this yet, but I also just want like a chill session where maybe since we all know each other's characters more, like they can talk about their pasts more and like learn, because I'm getting real tired of keeping things a secret. Even though there's
that's the thing. That's not all up to me or anything. I can't just be like, all right, just sit down and talk.
Yeah.
Like, that's pretty much up to you guys. It's part of like role playing. If you want to know more about the character, ask them. If you're looking for something like a fucking chest or something in a cave and you're with like one of your party members, while you're searching for it, just have a conversation while you're searching for it.
Say something to him. That's a good plan. That's a good thought. It is kind of our fault, but at the same time, I guess, I was just waiting for it to be set up for us, but like we got to take the initiative sometimes.
It's part of role playing. I
mean, that place we found in the cave with the waterfall felt like a nice place to, I don't know, just take a quick break, but everybody just wanted to go. They just wanted to. I was like, there's a nice fire here. There's like a waterfall. Why don't we just sit down?
Yeah, so...
What was the intention for that?
The waterfall, because beforehand I thought you'd get into more trouble with the mimic that happened earlier, so I assumed that everyone would be relatively hurt. So if they would have stumbled upon the water fountain, they'd have a chance to drink out of the water, and it'd heal you 1d6. So it's pretty much a place to relax, and if you wanted to, you could role play and get to know each other a little more.
I'm about to fall asleep.
Yeah, okay. Yeah. So that was that.
You're into D&D? Make sure to put a timestamp right here. D&D talk.
D&D times. Yeah, this is when D&D is over. This is when D&D starts. I knew that chest was going to be a fucking mimic. Like...
Oh, Dark Souls?
Yes. But they were like, let's just open it. I was like, gosh, now you should probably like just take a swing at it. Just take a quick swing at it. And they were like, you don't want to damage what's inside. And I was like, it'll be fine. Like I have a spell that can fix stuff. But nope, he opened it and he got a nice tongue around him. So I had to run up and cut the tongue. It was a good thing I rolled a 20 for initiative, because that's unlucky for you, Hunter, is that I rolled a 20 on initiative. So it grabbed Goshna's tongue, or the tongue grabbed Goshna's arm, and I immediately ran up and cut it in half, or cut the tongue off.
Yeah.
So
and
that was kind of unfortunate for you.
It's like such a little thing, but probably my favorite thing to do while DMing is literally just saying roll for initiative.
I know, right? Because like it throws everybody off. They're like, what do we do? Oh, what do we do? And then it's like, you should roll for initiative.
Good to give people the sense of worry, pretty much in a way, when they know they're about to be in battle, and if they're wounded, there's a chance that they could die.
Yeah, the tension goes up.
Take it. Stupid.
I had this question asked me the other day, and I couldn't come up with like a solid answer because it's a little bit of a weird question. It's so simple too. It's literally just, what scared you as a child?
Alien.
Just aliens?
Aliens.
The movie, the Alien, the movie.
Oh.
Everything in it. Everything in it made me cry for weeks after I saw it on the TV. First thing that came to mind.
So this is a problem that I still have.
Still?
No, not Alien, but I'm afraid of the dark. And I know that sounds weird. It's not like...
Melanie's the same way.
It's not the fear of things being dark. It's the fear of what could be there, even though, like, it's pretty clear that there's not going to be anything there. But, like, not knowing for sure because it's dark and, like, being put in that vulnerable situation is not something that I'm, like, super into.
I mean, I don't think anyone is. It's just based, if you think about it a lot, which you do, apparently, when you're
big
in the
brain.
dark. You're like, what could be in the corner? What could be in the corner?
Even just, like, going downstairs in the middle of the night to pee. Well, I guess
used to be
everybody
scared
does that because you, like, run to your room or, like, you run upstairs really fast.
I did that in my parents' house. I don't do that here. Like, I'm not scared of this place at all.
Do you think it's because it's smaller?
It might be because of just this. It's literally just 2 rooms, then an upstairs, then 2 more rooms. I don't know, but it gets dark as fuck. I keep it dark as fuck. Melanie hates me for it because she doesn't like the dark. So sometimes, like, I just take out the nightlight. Like, we just have a nightlight, and we have a fucking strip of lights. That's shit you have in your car, Eddie. We have that along one of our doors in our bedroom, and I hate it. I want to die. Yeah. Especially when she turns it red. She fucking turns it red. She knows I have issues, dude.
Your nightmare with the red. Yeah. Walking in your parents' house, everything was red.
Yeah.
Jesus.
Don't talk about it.
Yeah, I gotta save that for a better one. That's okay. I want to talk about that.
We'll save that for when we talk about dreams, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah. We actually, like, this is definitely a shitpost podcast, so
this is the first one. We're just kind of getting into it. So when I was little, obviously there were a lot of things. Courage, the Cowardly Dog, scared me. There were some moments.
I love that show so much.
Yeah, but it's meme to shit now. They all know what it is.
Return the Slab scared me.
Of course.
In the one episode when they had, like, just this realistic guy's face in the basement, it was black and white, talking to them, that scared me. When he opened up the door and then there's, like, a claymation guy that went, that scared me.
You know what scared me on that show, actually?
And that, like,
hold on,
3D model of that blue guy.
Yeah, that's what. Hold on, what is that?
I don't remember what he says, but it's like a 3D model of some blue guy with, like, he's like a fetus.
Hold on. Blue guy. Yes! Dude, that's it. That's literally it. That one.
That one.
I saw that when I was younger. I didn't like that.
When I was little, Resident Evil used to scare me a lot, even though it was like shitty PS1 graphics. Like, it wasn't even the fact that what I was seeing was scary. I was scared of it being scary, if that makes sense.
You didn't want anything to do with it because you heard it was scary.
Yeah, and I don't like being scared. I don't like scary things. I mean, that's not true now. Like, I love Resident Evil, but, like,
I remember when you were younger, you didn't want to do anything scary, really. Like,
no.
You weren't into, like, movies.
I spent the night at your house, and you guys watched one of the Paranormal Activities. I just sat in your room while you and your family watched a movie downstairs because, like, I didn't want to be scared. Now it's not a thing. I love Resident Evil. It was such a good thing. Like, I would be at Chad and Steve's, and they would mess with me and, like, go through, like, the concept art or, like, the image galleries and, like, be like, hey, you want to look at this? And I never would. I would always, like, look at the ground or whatever. Just be stupid. There was one thing, Resident Evil 4. The person that babysat me played Resident Evil 4, and I watched it. That didn't really scare me, except for when it came to the regenerators.
Yep.
Those guys came in, and I don't know if they gave me nightmares, but I have a vivid memory of, like, walking upstairs, like, when it was dark out, just terrified of going up there. Because the sound that they made and the way that they moved was just, it's so unsettling.
When I was growing up, my dad loved horror, so I also loved it. So the Resident Evil games didn't really scare me so much. I played them a fuck ton when I was little, especially Resident Evil 2 on the PlayStation 1. And we got Resident Evil 4 when it first came out on the PS2 after it came out on the GameCube because we didn't have the GameCube. And I was playing it, and I got to chapter 5-4, which is the Regenerators.
5-4.
And it was the first time that I was like actually afraid of a video game. Like I stopped playing it for about 2 years because of it.
2 years?
Yeah.
That's crazy. That's like your favorite game, one of your favorite games too. You own it like 8 different times. You have
I
it
beat
on
it
everything.
so many fucking times. But yeah, I stopped playing it for about like 2 years until I saw like my brother replaying it. I decided, you know what, I'll fucking play. And I got to the part, and I just ran past everything. I was like, I'm not dealing with this. And I just fucking ran past everything.
I did that too.
I'm looking at these things. Holy shit.
The Regenerators. Look at a video of them.
Like they don't like.
Look at a video.
Yeah, they make 2 sounds. The one's just like a.
Yeah.
And a sound when they die. They just.
Yeah, that's kind of. But like the sound that they make is so unsettling in the way that they move.
I know.
Like, oh man.
As a child.
A lot of weird things too is like when you're a kid, things scare you that like aren't even scary. But for some reason, I can't think of anything off the top of my head, so we might have to come back to that.
One thing that scared me, not like as much as like the Regenerators, it's also in one of my favorite games of all time, the Metal Gear Solid 3. It's when you face against the Sorrow. When you're walking through the river filled with dead bodies and he's just floating around. It creeped me out. You can get hit by him because he like shoots like little balls of like energy at you, and when he hits you, you get like a jump scare, and it's literally just like a close up of his face, and he just
Really?
Yeah.
I was terrified of going in the crypt in Mortal Kombat 9 because of the jump scare. Like whenever I went there.
Mortal Kombat 9.
Was it 9?
Really?
Yeah, it was 9.
I mean, it's in 9, but it was also in like Deception and.
Well, yeah, in Deception,
like
there's like little guys that run around. That also, just in general, the crypts in Mortal Kombat scared me. But like in 9, I would go in there and I would like go really quickly. I would like look up which like space the thing I wanted was, and I would like go in and like unlock it really quickly and go out because like I didn't I didn't want it to scare me. Like they literally put a jump scare. I mean, it's just a JPEG of like some goblin thing that comes up from the bottom of the screen. But like it's so uncool.
I haven't had like a
The first encounter with this thing, the guy playing doesn't give it a chance to even do anything. Like I just wanted to hear it. He fucking snipes it 4 times. Fucking
does he have the
incendiary at it?
Does he have the temperature, whatever scope, thermal scope?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the
Wait, was
trick
it
to them.
thermal? No, it wasn't thermal. It was a sniper scope.
I think you can also just know where they are too.
You can. There's about like 6 different spots where Parasite can
Just
spawn.
let it.
There's usually 4.
Let it make its noise. What?
The thing about Resident Evil games is that you can take things that are scary. Once you know like the trick behind them, you can just breeze past everything, and like it kind of devalues them, which I think that's why it made my my first playthrough of Resident Evil 2 and 3 remake was so long, was because like I wasn't trying to do that. I was trying to get like the most genuine experience as I could, when in reality you can just like have the shotgun and like those white zombies at the end of 3, like you can just one-shot them. But like at first I was terrified of them. Well, not like actually terrified, but like I didn't know how to kill them.
The sense of unease.
I didn't know how to kill them, and they were like the new normal zombies, so like I avoided them at first because I would unload on them with my pistol.
There's the noise.
And it just wouldn't do anything.
See, I love horror games, but the thing is, when I play a horror game where I can defend myself, it's no longer scary. Like as soon as I'm playing like a Resident Evil game, like let's say like 7, like the beginning of 7's relatively creepy, but as soon as I'm given like the first handgun, I'm completely fine. I'll run through it like it's just an action game. Like I'm no longer scared at all.
Yeah.
But like the things with like Outlast, like you have no means to defend yourself, so you constantly have like that sense of unease that you're going to die. Amnesia fucked me up like a bit.
The noise that the monster makes.
Mm-hmm.
I never played Machine for Pigs, but
Machine for Pigs wasn't that good.
Sam played a little bit of Soma on his channel.
Like one episode of it.
Yeah.
How far did I get on that? I literally just made.
Oh man, Amnesia. That game is scary. Did I
I
play
made
that with
2
you, Sam?
videos.
I played it with somebody.
Who? Amnesia?
Yeah.
You tried to get me to play it once a long time ago, and
It might have been with.
didn't.
It might have been with that friend that we were talking about earlier.
Okay.
But like, for some reason, I don't know why, I love, and I keep fucking saying it, I love the sense of unease when it comes to video games. And that's why I personally
Yeah.
feel like PT is like the best example of a horror game.
Dude.
It's not even a fucking full game.
Psychological horror, like,
That shit
Beats-
fucks me up and it makes me hard.
it beats out jump scares like 100% of the
Mhm.
time.
Oh yeah.
Like, I think that's one of the reasons why I didn't
100%.
like scary stuff, is because like I didn't like jump scares or whatever.
Jump.
they weren't good enough.
But like,
It,
and now like nowadays, well, not so much anymore, but then we would look up like people reading scary stories and like scare ourselves and stuff.
yeah, because with jump scares, it's not scary. It's just you're surprised, and that's it.
Yeah.
That's why.
And you get,
that's
like,
why I don't think
angry.
fucking.
Sometimes,
Yeah,
sometimes
that's why
it's
I
good.
don't think fucking.
Jump scares are good,
I don't-
but most of the time
I don't
they're
think
not.
fucking Five Nights at Freddy's is any good. That's like the only
Eh.
reason why I think it's fucking terrible. It's just relies too much on jump scares. There's
yeah.
no sense of unease at all.
After you play through it a couple times, especially when you know, like when you understand how they work, like you can just, it just becomes a rhythm. It's not like, and then when you get jump scared, you lose. Like,
It's just so boring.
I love the unease. Like when like Eddie, that Easter egg that barely ever happens when you're on 7 on Resident Evil 7.
oh, with the
When you're in the
ghost.
tape and you just see the girl like 1/10 of the time.
I love
just-
that.
That like why isn't that a little bit more implemented in these
As
games?
soon as she gets in your field of view, she disappears, and it's like just a JPEG of a girl. It's so good. Like,
But, like
and you could not know that she's there, but now that you know that she is in one of those spots, like you feel like there's something behind you, even though there isn't anything. And it's just a JPEG. It's just a JPEG. It's
doing
literally
things
nothing.
like that. It's really like that's what I love in a horror game. I like just feeling like something's there, and then like them offering you like the chance, like, oh, you might see it. I don't know.
Yeah.
That's the unease.
And
I
there's-
like. And I'm sure
There's no scary
That's what
noise.
Hunter's talking about too. Like
Just the fact that knowing.
yeah. And I
Yeah.
don't know. Like I like not necessarily jump scares, but I like the quick switch of like something chasing you. Like I don't like it jumping and scaring you before it chases you, for example, but like
Oh,
when it just casually appears and you just
Yeah.
casually see something very wrong. Like if you just like look to your left and you see something quietly running at you.
yeah, that's infinitely more terrifying than
That's so much
something
more
going,
than hearing a song come on, like a theme song coming on, like like
that
oh no,
too.
something's wrong.
yeah,
I better look
something's
for it.
chasing me. Or like when
It's
you're
like-
when you're walking like down a hallway and then you see a little hint bubble pop up at the bottom that says like press RB to look behind you. It's like
Yeah, like
you know
it's
something's
like,
you know
thanks,
you're gonna have to be
man.
running. Like
Let me learn by dying
Hmm.
and being so much more scared just by really not thinking you were gonna die in that moment. I don't know.
Yeah, that's-
PT was great. I remember PT. Loved
I wish
it.
I had
Yeah.
the chance to play it. There was
Yeah.
like, I also like how games put like Easter eggs and stuff. Like people were trying to figure out how to get the ending to PT, and I think that's really
Mhm.
cool.
Yeah, it was like a couple days after PT first like came out, so you could actually play it. And I was down at Stephen Chad's house, and it was like maybe 6 a.m. or something because we were staying up all
Oh,
night trying
no.
to figure it out. And I was the only one playing, and Chad was on the phone with someone or some like company or figuring something out, and I wasn't expecting it. And the main like creature, I think her name was like Lisa or something, just randomly popped out and got me, and I wasn't expecting it. And it was like one of the first times where I actually fucking like screamed out of terror because because I wasn't expecting it.
Yeah,
And Chad was on the
that's
phone.
just
She like
fucking
grabs your head and like
best.
turns it towards
Yeah.
her.
Yeah, and fucking
Yeah.
literally breaks it and kills you.
What's scary is
But
that somebody broke the camera of the game or whatever, and they found out that at a certain point, they actually tie her like model to be always behind you.
Yeah, it's so you can always like hear her.
And like knowing that fact is so fucking scary. Like knowing that her model is always there, no matter what way you turn, that's like behind you. It like gives you little chills up your spine.
Yeah, I saw that. It was like last week. I saw an article that someone fucking remade it, like perfectly remade it, but in VR. And as soon as I saw it, I'm like, no, I'm not touching that.
Oh, I would love it. I would love it.
That's why I wish Resident Evil 7 was in VR on the computer.
I know.
I would
I,
have fucking played that
I'm
shit.
so upset that it isn't.
was able. Yeah, I had it on the fucking PSVR when it first came out.
It was so good.
I fucking did a
It's
playthrough.
terrifying.
It's terrifying.
Did it work though? How are the hand movements and shit? Like,
It was
You aimed.
so.
It's
Yeah, so it was like you can use the Move controllers pretty much exactly how you would do in a VR game, or you can just use a controller. By the time I played it, it was like it first came out, so I could only use the controller. It was just like playing a normal game, but I was the person's fucking head, and I could turn around and everything.
yeah, like peeking around corners in a horror game is so scary. It's so immersive. Like
I know.
it's such a wasted potential that they didn't end up porting it to the PC. That was one of the reasons why I wanted to get a VR headset, is because I thought it was on VR on both, but it was just an exclusive, which is a shame because that's like a lot of work.
The weirdest
I'm hoping that they bring
exclusive.
it back for Resident Evil Village too.
That'd be cool.
I'm definitely getting that on PC.
Yeesh.
Yeesh.
Yeesh. Okay, so I have a friend on the phone. Earlier we were talking about things that scared us as a kid and Resident Evil, and how when I was at their house, they would play Resident Evil and try to scare me, and I would look away. Chad, do you remember that?
Yeah, it was a long time ago, probably like 15 years ago. But I used to be a little asshole, and Resident Evil was one of my favorite games growing up. So if Eddie was over at the house, I would be playing it, and you'd be terrified.
Yeah, it was pretty cool. You guys even had Resident Evil on the DS, which like I played that, but like I was scared of seeing it on the PS1 on the TV for some reason. Like you guys would go through the concept art or like all the art stuff, and you'd be like, "Hey, look at this," and then I wouldn't because I was just too scared. You kept trying.
Yeah, that's like the thing with Resident Evil. Even like their concept art is relatively unsettling because it's just usually like
It's really
morphed up
good.
fucking skin.
So Chad, I mean, I know you guys are like the masters of horror, but did you have anything that scared you when you were a kid?
His uncle,
One-
maybe?
Game that I thought was pretty scary was the first Fear. I want to say I was in, I think, middle school when that game came out,
I
and
played that
I
shit.
mean, I
That-
played through it, but it was one game that was pretty scary, and also Doom 3, because I was pretty young when that came out, and just like the sounds in that game,
Oh,
like scared me as a kid.
I remember you playing that. You went to like the I didn't watch the actual game, but I remember you went to like an arcade thing that was like an Easter egg, and I watched you play in that room, but I didn't watch you actually play it.
Yeah, Doom 3 is a pretty scary game. At least it was at the time.
Yeah, the graphics, it might not hold up as much anymore.
I forgot about Fear. Fear's a good one, because Fear is like...
Here's a good.
Yeah, I was too scared to ever play that. So I think
Dude.
the game that brought me out of being scared of things was Left 4 Dead. Just because like it's the opposite of a horror game, but it like dealt with obviously zombies and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
It was dark, scary aspects.
The game that I think that does the best job at like having action and horror is Dead Space.
I played Dead Space, yeah. I
Ooh,
get behind that.
I also remember Chad playing that, and it made me scared.
I fucking
First Dead
love
Space is an
Dead
incredible
Space.
game.
Yeah.
It is really good. Yeah, that was
It's
another
literally-
thing that made me scared to go out like at night or like walk in my house.
Yeah, Dead Space is literally just Resident Evil 4 that's more scary and just in space.
Because like the fact that they're trapped like in a space station, like there's nowhere to go.
Yeah, and the enemies they're not like set in certain areas. They're like randomly put in, and there's vents everywhere, and they can just pop out at any time.
Yeah, that part pissed me off. That's why I stopped playing.
But I think made Dead Space unique too. It's like it was the one game that made you focus on everything but headshotting the enemy. Headshots didn't really do anything. Dead Space, you're supposed to take their limbs off first. It's just kind of a cool concept. It was different.
Yeah, that's really smart. The subverting of expectations for that. Yeah, it kind of focused more on disabling the enemies rather than just going for the quick headshot, which I guess that's kind of something you can do in Resident Evil as well. The newer ones, like you can disable them by shooting their legs and then running up to them and doing whatever. But
no one has time.
Dead Space definitely pushed that. Smart game.
But with Dead Space, they also had like the problem that Resident Evil came in. They focused way too much on action rather than horror. But Dead Space 2 is really good, but it's less scary. And then Dead Space 3, there's no horror in it.
So
it's nothing but action.
You're one of those fucking plebs that think it should have just stayed horror, nothing else.
Yes.
You're probably right.
I agree. I think there's too many games that do that. They start off, in this, survival horror genre, and then they always push to action. I mean, Resident Evil's pretty much ruined their series doing that. You see a lot of horror games doing that.
Well, you don't think like it's fun to see Leon having Lara Croft syndrome? Like just fucking getting thrown through walls, jumping out of build, like all that shit. And just living every time. You don't want to be a little pleb just like that and clap your hands and can't wait for the next one.
The action isn't bad. Like in Resident Evil 6, the action's really good. The gameplay's fun as fuck, but it's just not what the series is.
It's less of a horror game. It's more of an action game with horror themes rather than. And even like Resident Evil 1 was kind of like that, except it was more of a horror game with action themes rather than an action game with horror themes. And I think the latter or the former is where the series shines best. Especially with the 7 and then the 2 remakes. Seems like they're pulling it back.
They're listening to the fans.
As every company should.
Yeah.
Unless you're EA.
Well, Chad, do you have anything else you want to say? Or?
It's in the E.
No, that's it. I'm going to go ahead and get off here, but thank you guys for having me. I appreciate it.
That's pretty cool. Thank you for confirming my story of being a baby.
Yeah, not a problem. Take it easy, guys.
I forgot about Dead Space and Fear.
Yeah, same.
Those are good. One thing about Fear, I think Fear 3, did they have 3 or is it just Fear?
There's 3 versions of Fear. Well, not versions. Like there's Fear 2, and Fear 3, and it's literally the same thing.
Okay.
It's less scary, more action.
I wasn't sure because I knew that there was something weird about how the series was put together. But one thing about one of the games, if not all of them, is that they thought that the AI was like smart and like was like really learning and it was like an actual AI. When in reality it was the player is killing us on this side, so we're gonna go the other way and try to get behind them. People thought it was a lot smarter than it was. I mean, it was smart, especially for the time, but
yeah, it was like what 2007, 2008 when that came out. So at the time, it's like holy shit.
It is pretty impressive.
Whereas now that's like the norm.
Grubs. When did Gears come out?
2007.
Around the same time, and it had similar AI. Except, it had similar AI. A lot of it was they were just in front of you, but...
Did you not have any problems playing Gears when you were younger?
No.
I think the thing with...
I think it's just the thought behind it. Like, sure, the Locust could be considered scary, but, like, it's not a scary game, so I played it.
Yeah, it's an action game with relatively horror aspects. It's more of... The best way I can, like, compare to anything, it's like a...
It's like AIDS?
It's a war game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like edgier Halo.
There's the enemies aren't human on one side, and then if that's not scary, which it really isn't that scary. I meant like the parts of the campaign when it's dark and you can't go into the light, or you can't go into the dark.
I love the krill part.
The krill, yeah.
The krill part was so cool. And then they tried to do it again in Gears 2 with Razor Hail, and it wasn't as cool.
Because at least with Krill, you could walk through it a little bit and be able to make it like to the other side. You'd get hurt a lot, but you'd still be able to make it through. Whereas Razor Hail, the second you put one toe outside, you're fucking dead.
Yeah, you just like fall apart.
Yeah.
It was cool too with the Krill because you could like shoot the explosives to make like light sources and stuff. It was, I mean, it was very straightforward, but it was different for the type of game it was, and it added some nice variety. I'm sure there's people that hated that part because it slows things down, but I thought it was cool.
Like, pretty much the only reason why Gears isn't scary is that it's meant to be just action-packed.
Mm-hmm.
You're supposed to be jumping from cover to cover, just shooting.
Yeah,
things.
it's a third-person cover shooter. Like, it's not, it's not a scary game.
Dark Souls is the best. All right.
We talked about anime and we talked about video games. There's nothing else to us.
Yeah, it's really not.
Well, I mean, we can go back to the topic I was going to go through before we went back to horror.
Oh yeah,
Like,
yeah.
Games that are way too overhyped, which I said San Andreas.
Yeah, people say that that's like really good. That's like the best Grand Theft Auto. I think it's just nostalgia blockers. Like there's somebody on Facebook that I'm sure you know who I'm talking about who just like, and Steve even like calls him out on it.
Yeah, he sucks, San Andreas' dick. Like, it's a good game. I like it. It's just not as good as everyone says it is.
I think it's just because like he played video games as a kid. I think it's because like it was his dad's stuff, I think. But like he doesn't play them now, so he doesn't know how good things are.
Things are a lot better when you're a child.
For real.
That too.
We could talk about that for a whole fucking episode.
Yeah.
It's so depressing.
Grand Theft Auto games. Grand Theft Auto games were good, but like I never played the story. I would always just mess around as a kid, and I feel like nowadays that entertainment wouldn't last too long, even with cheat codes.
It doesn't. Anything you do, you can think about kid you having more fun doing it.
It's true.
Everything you do. You like fucking chocolate milk? It's not worth going to get right now, because...
I don't know. I still like
that's different.
Chocolate milk will always reign supreme.
Hype, dude.
But like, yeah, no, food's a bad example, actually. You can still fucking... That's about it. That's why everyone gets fat in their 30s.
When I was little...
That's the only thing left. That's really
When I was little,
still.
for a snack, I would make a bag of popcorn, and I would get like a little tiny bowl of syrup, and I would eat the entire thing, dipping it in syrup.
Weird.
That's actually not a bad idea for a kid to have.
It was good. Like, you got the salty, buttery,
I
and then the
probably
sweet.
like that.
See, for me,
But that's
when I
like
was little,
a nightmare.
when I was little, we didn't really buy like snacks or stuff. It was pretty much just stuff for like dinner and sometimes lunch. So whenever I got like hungry in like the middle of the day, I would just get a big fucking glass of milk and just pour a fuck ton of like chocolate syrup in and just stir it and chug it to the point where it just filled my stomach and hurt.
Full of chocolate milk. Yeah.
That would be like in quotations full for like an hour or two, and then it'd be dinner time. And I'd be like, yeah, chicken.
Yeah.
I like
a game that's overhyped. Mario Sunshine. I don't
like Mario Sunshine.
I don't like it either. Like, some people say it's better than 64. I mean, not everybody. Some people say like it's really good because it's 64, and then you also have the flood. I don't like it. I tried going back and playing it too recently. I couldn't play it as a kid. I can't play it now.
I think it's a good concept for Mario.
For some reason, it just doesn't work as good.
Like, when it comes to Mario, I think of jumping around and collecting stuff, not
like they announced
fucking putting shit out.
Yeah, they announced the 3D Mario like All-Stars pack, and like there's only I don't care about Sunshine. Everybody's like, "Oh, Sunshine." No. I don't care. It's not as good. It's decent.
See, I didn't care for Galaxy either. I thought it was fun, but it just...
I never played Galaxy. It looked okay.
We got it when it came out, and by the time... I didn't play Sunshine by that time either. So I was just used to like the side-scrolling Mario and Mario 64. So when I played Galaxy, it was very weird. It was three-dimensional like 64, but also like concave.
Yeah,
and
like
such.
the planets had gravity and stuff.
Yeah, yeah. So I just didn't like it. I didn't think it was a good Mario game. Whereas if I say that to a Mario purist, they're gonna murder me.
Yeah, yeah. Everybody likes Galaxy and Galaxy 2. I never played them, so I can't really have an opinion. But they never looked like my cup of tea. Anyways,
Pretty much, if you want a good Mario game, either make it at like Super Mario World or Super Mario 64. So, like, that's why like pretty much every side-scrolling Mario game is really good, and also why Super Mario Odyssey is really good, because Odyssey is literally just Super Mario 64.
here's a controversial opinion. I like 3D Zelda games more than I like A Link to the Past. People are gonna get angry at that.
I like both of them.
A Link to the
But
Past is good, but it just can't. It doesn't keep my attention. I understand like some of the dungeons and puzzles are designed better because it's 2D. There's only one way you can look at it, but I just feel like I don't know. I just like the charm. I just like the 3D environments of like Ocarina of Time, Majora's Mask, Skyward Sword. It's okay. I thought that game was pretty good. I never finished it. That's one of the only Zelda games I've played and never finished. But I don't know. I like 3D Zelda better. I also like 3D Sonic better.
Yeah, I've never liked.
Did somebody say Sonic?
Sonic's cool, I guess.
As growing up, I was not a Nintendo kid because we didn't have Nintendo consoles. The only Nintendo consoles that I ever like owned for like even a short period of time was an SNES. So obviously, like the games I played on was Super Mario World.
Yeah, I grew up on PS1, PS2.
Yeah, we were
got a GameCube later down the line.
I grew up on
PlayStation.
GameCube and handhelds. Like
yeah, I had a Game Boy.
I had one of those really old fat Sega Genesis, I think it is.
But the handheld version?
It was a handheld Sega Genesis thing.
They had a backlit screen.
I played what's it called? Simba. What is it? Dude, what? Lion King. Jesus Christ.
You played Simba, dude. You played Simba.
Lion King. That's what I played on it. I played Simba, yeah.
I love playing Simba.
No, I had Lion King on it. That game was fun too, and I played Pokemon. Obviously, that was fucking everything to me in daycare days.
Ugh.
So I could successfully avoid religion growing up.
Yeah.
What was I saying? Was there a point?
I don't know. Was there a point?
I don't think there was a point.
We said what we grew up on. You said GameCube.
Oh, that's it. Yeah.
Was the question like overhyped games when we were little, or just overhyped games in general?
In general.
Overhyped and trash.
Forza?
Spore.
Forza?
Spore.
Trash game. Hate it. Overhyped. Everyone seems to like it. They're wrong. My biased opinion is correct.
Oh, I don't like that game.
Yeah, I remember seeing like commercials about it, and I thought it was interesting. But then, like, I later down the line, because we never got it, we bought, or we didn't. I had to burp. I saw videos about it later down the line, and it looks very bare bones. Like you can create a guy and just walk around. Very bare bones. What's interesting is I remember going to GameStop, pre-ordering a game. I don't remember what game it was. And Dave, I think it was. The big boy Dave. We
love Dave.
Hunter used to work at GameStop, by the way.
You're not telling me that.
No. So I remember pre-ordering a game, and Dave was like, "Hey, are you gonna pre-order No Man's Sky? It's gonna be the new big game. It's got procedurally generated worlds." And I was like, "No, I'll pass for now."
So stinky.
And I'm glad I did.
See, the thing with No Man's Sky is that
it's better now.
It was fucking terrible when it first came out. But
speaking of bare bones, like
now it's fun. I enjoyed it when I played it. I like it.
It's on Game Pass.
Yeah, but I bought it for fucking dirt cheap on my computer because my friend Dakota wanted me to play it, and I saw that it had VR support, so I'm like, all right, I'll just play it in VR. And holy fuck,
is it actually good in VR?
It's a beautiful game.
That's really cool.
How though?
And it's cool because you can like name the stuff.
And flying around in space in VR, and you're just looking at planets and fucking going at fucking hyperspeed. It's just so fucking pretty.
Hunter loves space.
I do love.
I like space games too a lot. That's why I liked Alien Isolation. That game was fucking great. But who gives a fuck, you know?
Would that be considered another overhyped game?
Alien Isolation?
Because everybody was talking about how, like, again, how smart the AI was and how it could, like, listen in on, like, you. I don't know how accurate that was. Like,
I thought the game
there was a thing on that game where
if you had a headset in?
Yeah, if you have a headset, your mic, the AI could pick up the sound and like, come straight to you.
Like, was that actually a thing? Or
we fucked around. I fucked around with it. It seemed like it was. I didn't know if there was like a trick behind it, but
I heard later on that the AI, it was actually like two parts of the AI that talked to each other. One that like knew where you were, and then one that knew your position because of something else. And they didn't directly go to the player, but they like told each other like hot or cold. I don't really remember how it actually worked, but
the AI for Alien Isolation is pretty good. I thought the game itself was fun, but I didn't think it was as good as everyone said it was.
I think the AI just kind of raised everybody's expectations.
I can get behind that, but also what Alien game's better, you know?
Yeah, that is very true.
Yeah,
the last like good Alien game that I fucking played was Alien vs Predator on like the PlayStation 1.
Yeah, that shit's fun. That's just stupid fun though. Like that's just fucking I'm fucking Predator, woohoo, and kill everything. Yeah. I think there were little couldn't you like pick up the alien and just like shove your claws through him? Like
it was something like that.
I just remember that being really fun.
We had an Alien or Predator or Versus game on our computer. It was really old, and I never understood how to get out of the first room. So, like, I would start it up, walk around, and then just quit because I couldn't figure it out.
Like that.
Same thing with Mega Man Legacy. Like, I couldn't figure it out, and I didn't know how to save. So, like, any progress I did make, like, for some reason, I didn't know how to save it.
The Alien vs. Predator game on the PS1, it's one of those games that I remember playing, but I barely remember anything about it. And literally, like, the biggest, like, the most prominent memory that I have of it is holding literally the case and just looking at it.
Yeah.
Being excited for it, don't remember the game.
It was in like
it's
the
weird
OG,
how your memory works.
It was in like the OG like PlayStation 1 case, if you remember those. It wasn't like the CD cases. It was like the big, thick, like weird looking fucking box.
Like the double-sized one?
Yeah.
Yeah,
like
I had
one of that. And
I had a Yu-Gi-Oh game that was like that for some reason. It had like the size of two discs.
I forget when they stopped doing that. I think it was like a year after fucking the PlayStation 1 was out, and they were like, CD cases now.
All right. Last one that's overhyped is Watch Dogs.
Yeah. Well, it was overhyped before it came out, but I think when it did come out, everybody like came to an understanding that it was not what it said it was going to be.
Yeah, there was a lot of stuff promised with the game, and it just did not live up to expectations.
Not at all.
Because I remember getting that game.
They dialed it back too, like its graphics and stuff.
At first you think like it looked good because you're like, whoa, like different. You get to hack shit, and then it's repetitive immediately.
Yeah.
Yeah, the hacking, and I say that in quotes. It wasn't hacking.
It was literally just like holding an X, and that was it.
Yeah, there was not much you could do.
Like
repetitive.
Like a lot of games, I like the concept, but how it was executed was fucking terrible.
All right, and that's it. That's it for overhyped games.
I'm trying to look something up. So there was, when we were talking about like what game systems we grew up with, it reminded me of an old PS2 game that my dad played. Or no, we were talking about space and why we like space. And it reminded me of this old PS2 game that scared me as a kid, where it took place on a space station filled with ghosts. And it was a PS2 game, and ghosts were scary. Ghosts are still scary, like the thought of ghosts. And the thought of obviously being trapped on a space station. Everything's quiet, everything's dark, and I looked it up, and I think it's called Echo Night Beyond.
Never heard of that.
Yeah, no, it's pretty obscure. I don't know how my dad how he even got it, but yeah, I had a hard time watching him play because like he'd be walking around the space station, like, I don't know, trying to fix something, and then there'd just be a ghost that walks across like in front of him and like down the hallway in front of him. Yeah. Like, well, I mean, it's a hallway, but like it's a space hallway, you know? But I don't know. That was another game that scared me, and the thought of like being trapped on a haunted space station where there's nowhere to go. It just tied back to everything.
So on the topic of games that like no one fucking knows, it was like the year 2004 or something. About 2 good years after my favorite game came out, Kingdom Hearts. I fucking loved it as a kid. And it was around Christmas 2004. Kingdom Hearts 2 was like announced like a couple months beforehand, and I was really excited for it. And on my Christmas list, I asked for it, even though it wasn't out. It was supposed to come out like the next year, and I didn't know. My parents got me this fucking game. It was called Dual Hearts. No one fucking knows this game.
Oh, I remember you telling me about that.
Yes,
actually,
I played it so fucking much.
I remember telling you about that ghost game, and it reminded you about Dual Hearts.
Yeah. It's so fucking Japanese. It's made by Atlas, the people who do like Persona and such, and it's pretty much, it's like a Kingdom Hearts ripoff, but without Disney.
I mean, with the name of Dual Hearts.
You were some fucking spiky hair kid, but you could run around with dual like spears and just fucking slice shit. It was fun as fuck, but it was also stupid as fuck, and no one fucking knows it. And it pisses me off that no one knows it.
Yeah, I never heard of it. I mean, that Echoes game, I don't even know if that's the right one. I think it is. I like just quickly looked it up, so it might not be the same one. But Echo Night Beyond, I think that's what it was. I'll have to look into it more. But yeah, games that nobody knows about, like the old PS1, PS2 era of games is like perfect for
there's so many like Japanese games, like JRPGs that no one
everybody has a game in their collection that just nobody knows.
Exactly.
I had this one scooter game on PS2. I think it's called World Tour, where you this was another game that I didn't know how to save, but you were on scooters and you had to like defeat the bad guys, but they were also on scooters.
I've never heard of that.
I don't remember.
Have you guys heard of, it's a very old, I don't know if it's for like PS2 or 1 or whatever, but it was for GameCube too, called Dark Summit?
No.
It's a fucking snowboarding game. My first, I think it was my very first sports game I've ever gotten, and it was some fucking bitch with a fat ass going down a mountain. That's all it was.
That's all it was.
That's all it was, and it was great. Like sometimes there'd be like bad guys, and they would you wouldn't do anything to them. You could like run into them if you wanted, or if you possibly could, which was like almost impossible. Or you could watch them just fall themselves, and it just made it look like it was actiony, like actiony things were happening.
Back when they tried to make sports games more intense.
It had some Skate vibes, like Skate 3 vibes, but like obviously it was trash. Like put that, like it's like maybe like Tony Hawk games rather. Better example.
Yeah, the thing with like
love Tony Hawk.
Like early PS2 games, it was like the area when in like all of media was like really sexualized. Like there was just like sexy women fucking everywhere.
Tomb Raider,
like,
fuck yeah.
Yeah,
Gex.
like that shit. I remember, there was like fucking. I remember, I was playing. I can't remember. I think it was Mortal Kombat Deception. You could unlock, like relatively provocative pictures of like the female cast, and there was one of Melina. She was wearing literally nothing, but she was holding up like her weapons, like over like her tits.
I remember that.
And I remember I was little.
Oh my gosh.
And I unlocked it and I went to look at it because I didn't know what it was. And my dad was in the room. And I clicked on it. And on our fucking big TV was just naked Melina with her tits out. And as soon as it opened up, my dad was whipped at me. He was like, "What the fuck?" Hunter. And I'm like, I didn't know.
That's the best, is like somehow at the worst times parents like see what's happening. Like they don't care the whole time until like
it's like
the
right
one time that they shouldn't see it.
Then
Yeah.
they come in the
Your
room.
dad walks in and he's like, "Oh, you need help cleaning that up?"
You know, blinking that up.
Oh jeez. I remember like my dad's always been like a funny person. Like if he yells at me for looking at something sexual on accident, he's gonna like scold me and poke fun. Not really
Yeah.
like fucking like what the fuck. He's gonna make fun of me. And we had a bunch of like fighting games growing up because that's what my brother really liked, and my dad would like to play with us and like fight
Yeah,
against
Chad and
us.
Steve had a lot too.
Yeah, and he'd always pick a woman as a fighter. And
So would my dad.
The reason
'Cause they
why
have smaller
he'd always
hitboxes.
pick him. Nope, it wasn't that.
Oh,
Fucking
that's what my
the
dad
reason
said.
he'd pick it. The
'Cause
reason
they're
he'd pick
weaker.
a fucking woman is that he'd like to look at their boob. As
Well,
well.
Oh,
at least
cool.
he admitted it.
Yep.
I'm sure that's
I'd
the
always-
same reason why my
I'd
dad
always
did.
be like a fucking badass ninja, and he'd just be like some skimpy girl.
Yeah, Soul Calibur was the worst with those, and
Mhm.
and Dead or Alive. But we didn't have Dead or Alive.
We had Mortal Kombat, fucking Soul Calibur, some weird fighting game that I can't even fucking remember the name of, but it wasn't well known.
Virtual Fighter.
I mean, that could have been it.
Well, we've been going for quite some time, so I think that's a good time to end this bad boy. I think this is a pretty successful first episode. We talked about the two things we know what to talk about, and that's it. So I'll see you guys at episode 100. I hope that'd be cool.
Next episode, we talk solely about politics. Let's go.
Politics cast.
Just
the one
politics,
topic
period.
that none of us care that much
Those
about.
Damn
It's important.
Dems
Let me say it's important.
starting up the fucking virus and shit. Watch, it'll be gone by November.
Me saying that we don't care about politics doesn't mean that we actually don't care about politics. Like, it's important, but we don't care about discussing our opinions, I guess.
Yeah, we'll dispose.
We don't care about making our opinions our personality. Like, if
Exactly.
the topic comes up and it's important, we're going to say what we think, but that's not what our personality is.
If you don't like it, we'll have our tag so you can come after us personally.
So, anyways, this podcast is uploaded on my channel, so you know where to find me on YouTube, but I'm also on Twitch at GigXX3, and I'm also on Twitter at GigXX3. Hunter, where can these beautiful gentlemen and gentlewomen find you?
See, I am on Twitch at Cited403. Same with Instagram and Twitter. My YouTube is just Cited. It's CITED.
Hunter posts a lot more on social media than I do. He's a bit more active in that kind of thing.
Yeah, my social media is where I post my thoughts and like my cosplays.
Yeah, he just bought another Spider-Man morph suit and lenses. So if you want to see that, check it out. Sam, where can people find you?
Nowhere.
Nowhere. He has a YouTube channel. He has a Twitch. He doesn't
I have
post.
videos you can go watch and tell me they're bad from like 2 years ago.
So at BreakNeckSam, that's his YouTube. He also has
And my Twitch.
he also has his Twitch. He doesn't really stream. It's been a while since I've streamed too. Just
watch me, maybe I'll
time.
stream. I don't know.
But hopefully this renaissance of my channel picks off.
$5.
I'm gonna hopefully this is the plan, is we're gonna have a podcast out every week.
See,
But
I post a video like every 1 or 2 months.
Yeah, like I wanna make another Jojo video, because like there's no way I can go over everything about the show. So leave a comment on the Jojo video, and I want to make another video reading the comments and like discussing those things further, some of the things that I missed, going more in depth in a couple of things, because like I went over the whole series in that video, so there's a lot that I missed. What's up?
And I want to catch up on JoJo. Same with Hunter. I imagine.
We can
And
make this the JoJo. we can check in every week.
Like a real one. Like we actually just sit and we can discuss when I'm actually educated on the show and it's fresh in my mind, because I can't speak unless it's fresh. You know what I'm saying, dog?
We'll have little updates sprinkled in, but yeah, once you get in, we'll have a full big-brained conversation about it.
Big fucking brain. We'll discuss, we'll argue, we'll say who's stronger. It will go through it all with you here today, folks.
Discussion podcast.
Later
down the line.
It's gonna be a lot of hours of work that I'll have to put in, so God only knows how fucking long that's gonna be.
We'll see. Anyways, thank you guys for watching. If you made it this far, that's pretty cool. I don't know how long this is gonna be. We've been recording for about 2 hours, so we'll see how much gets cut out. Empty silences. Don't expect if this is like an hour and a half long, don't expect every podcast to be that long. But I'm gonna try to upload every week, but we'll see how that goes. It probably won't happen because we all have other things in our lives that take time. So we have other responsibilities. Anyways, thank you guys for watching. That's pretty cool of you.
Bye-bye.
Goodbye. Bye. Goodbye. Bye. Let's just count to 10.
Count to 1,
2,
3, 4, 5,
6.
This is
7.
awful. We're all off.
9.
10.
10. Oh no.